Welcome to Vodka and Verbals. So here is the vodka, Smirnoff. I prefer Grey Goose, but the Smirnoff will do. And the verbals, hopefully it's not verbal diarrhea, it's something that makes sense. Well, it's something that's in my head and it makes sense long term. So basically what I wanted to talk about was the kind of reality of online shopping. Now this has become more and more, whether it be supermarkets, whether it be materials, bits and pieces, and I'm going to smoke in this, so if it offends you, I'm sorry. About online shopping, particularly with the mega projects like, for instance, Amazon. Now, I know Amazon is convenient, you know, you're supposed to get it next day. I bought something a few days ago for one of my cars. In fact, I didn't buy it, a friend who told me what size I needed for this thread bought it, and it came through Amazon, but it did take 2 weeks to come, or 12 days, whatever. The next day delivery is not quite right. The issue I have with it is that, and particularly during COVID, Amazon got bigger and bigger and bigger. It ran away with itself. Now, it's amazing what Jeff Bezos has done. I mean, for a guy that's started selling second-hand books from his garage, it's amazing. And the world needs entrepreneurs. That's a fact. We're never going to get away from that. The issue I have with it is that if somebody gets the monopoly on goods, what happens is the high street shops or the smaller companies get bought up, or they go out of business because everybody's going to these online shopping systems. Now, you know, as I said, I understand it's convenient, but you need to think about this long term. It won't affect me. You know, I'm going to be 69 in next week. Well, if I live another 20 years, I'm going to be lucky, so it won't affect me. But these shops will eventually close down, and you'll be reliant on people like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or whatever, the massive corporations who run everything. And the problem with that is there's an old saying, and it's very true, I'm afraid, is that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And what happens is they become megalomaniacs, and I think you can see that within the mega rich people that all seem to be daft on space. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Virgin, the guy from Virgin, I've forgotten his name, Branson. All these kind of people, they're mentally into this, you know, going into space and whatever. Anyway, I digress. The point about the online shopping is all the smaller stores, and when I've looked into this, I've done quite a bit of research on it, and what I've found is some of their business dealings are really very, very bad in respect of when they go to companies and they say, okay, we'll sell your products through Amazon. They have to sign a contract, and basically in that contract they're not allowed to sell that item any cheaper directly, because Amazon get their cut out of it. They're also not allowed to get it to you any quicker than you can get it through Amazon. And this is the tip of the iceberg. There's many other things. I mean, we've seen many programs and YouTube things about Amazon employees, you know, being screwed over and really poorly paid, and some of, you know, almost like battery hens, the way they have to work. And this is the problem with it. I mean, I'm not saying don't use Amazon. You know, some things you might do. I've had to do this. This is once in, you know, whatever, how many years it's been going. I think we've probably had 2 or 3 things off them in 20 odd years, whatever it is it's been going. What I'm saying is just be careful what you wish for, because if these people get the complete control and monopoly over these things, they can then control the markets as well. I mean, you only have to look at mainstream media to see the same thing. Fox News, ITN, whatever, GB News, all these news channels, all these media outlets are owned by very, very wealthy individuals, and we get their opinion of the news, or what they want us to hear, what they want to project, what they want to tell us that we should know, which is not right. But the news is the news. It's either correct or it's not correct. So there's always a tilt on it. And this is what happens, I think, with Amazon. There's some really shady dealings that Amazon do. And I think if you think twice about it, I'm not saying don't use them. What I'm saying is think about it, where this stuff is coming from. You know, it's like Alibaba and all these other ones. You get this stuff from China. I mean, to me, online shopping is convenient, I know, but there's some other issues with it too. I mean, you think about it. Have you ever been to an online shop where you don't have to pay up front? No, of course not. So you have to pay, and then sometimes they'll say, oh, we don't have it in stock, we'll send you your money back. But they've already had it for a week or 10 days or 2 weeks. So they actually made millions in interest out of it because you're an individual, but there's millions of people buying things. So it's a big money-making situation. I've seen it with spare parts for cars. There's a couple of companies, I won't mention them, but there's a couple of companies who will take your money and then literally a couple of weeks later say, oh, we don't have it in stock, when it clearly said it was in stock. Anyway, so, you know, but this goes on with other stuff as well. It's also the same with cards now. Every time you go into anywhere, no matter what it is, a coffee shop, whatever, everybody's tapping the card onto the machine, you know, for a Coke or, I don't know, a pencil or some bubble gum, whatever. And yet the people that do this are the first ones to say, oh, the problem is they're tracking us doing this, doing it. Well, don't do it. Pay cash. Pay 20 cents or 50 cents or 20 euros, whatever it is. Pay cash. The more we pay cash, the more it'll be difficult for them to get us into a cashless society, which I'm pretty sure the system would like us to do, because then they would have total control over us, over our bank accounts, because everything would be electronic, and they could physically and theoretically and physically actually shut our accounts down, even though we were millionaires or not, or we had money in our account. So when we get to that point, we are going to be totally reliant on the systems. Now, going on to that, obviously I don't know what the audience might be that might watch this, whether it's from the US, wherever, or the UK, but the UK's just had a massive deal with the post office where they had a electronic system from Fujitsu, I understand, called Horizon, that was, the software in it was terrible, and it caused a lot of problems, and particularly for postmasters and postmistresses, that it was adding up things wrong, and they were in debts to 20. This is only just, well, it hasn't just come out, it's been around 20 odd years, this problem, but it's really come to focus in the last month or so, a couple of months or so, because a TV program has been made about it, and the people in the UK can't believe that this has happened, that the post office could get away with this. And it's the same situation when they have control over us with a computerized system. So my opinion would be, you know, if you don't want to carry cash because you're in a dodgy area, fair enough. But where you can, buy cash, because your phone alone is going to show where you are. You don't need to keep tapping your card to show where you are. And as I said, people always say, oh, the problem is it's listening into this, listening to that. Well, don't give them the chance. Take some of that data away so they can't have it. You spend cash, nobody knows about it. And we don't want to be in a cashless society. Believe me, as I said, it won't affect me, and it won't affect the baby boomers, people born in the late 40s, 50s. It won't affect us, but it will affect you. Believe me. Again, going back to Amazon, yeah, I do understand people want to use them, and you know, you get goods and you get this and get that, but think about this, just so I finish this off. Amazon don't produce anything. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, and he's a multi-billionaire, Jeff Bezos, and he doesn't make a damn thing. Nothing. All he does is have an upfront online shop for other people, for other companies that make stuff, and as I say, they have to come to him first. He has to be able to sell them cheaper, he has to be able to sell them quicker than the company who make them actually can sell them to the general public. So if I wanted to buy this directly from the company, I would have to pay more for it, and I wouldn't get it at the same rate, because in their contract they're not allowed to. It's like a kind of franchise, basically, like McDonald's. You know, I mean, McDonald's, if you own a McDonald's franchise, which you need a million plus, you cannot go out and buy buns or eggs from somewhere else. You have to get them, and everything has to go through McDonald's, because it's a franchise. You are locked up in a contract. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this up because people can be really sheepish at times with this kind of thing. They never think long term. What long term is going to come out of this? Where is this going to put us? The Brexit's another situation, but again, I won't go into that. But if you think about it, if you continue to buy predominantly from Amazon, these high street shops, the little or smaller companies, are going to go bust, and you'll have no choice. You will have to buy it from Jeff Bezos, or you will have to buy it from Amazon, or something like Amazon. It's your choice. Thanks for watching.